It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth.
What truth?
Yeah.
It's some weird shit.
It's weird. It's very weird. It's all very creepy. And the fact that it was a real place. I told you, like, I was telling people that Alex Jones told me about that a long time ago. I thought he was out of his fucking mind. There's a place, they take them, they compromise them, they have sex with kids, and like, what?
Your fucking impression
What?
is so good.
I've known that guy forever. I knew that guy before he talked like that. His voice wasn't as scraggly. All the years of tequila and vodka. But I thought it was nuts, and it turned out to be true.
Yeah, but
yeah, it's a fucked up world we live in. We need Jesus. I think for real. Like if he came back now, it'd be great. Like Jesus, if you're thinking about coming back
right now,
now's a good time.
Yeah, pretty soon. Yeah,
now's a good time. We're kind of fucked.
Well, there's a lot of people that think that might be coming.
Well, it might be.
Mark,
Are you the kind that sees signs, sees miracles? Or do you believe that people just get lucky? Is it possible there are no coincidences?
I mean, that might be what all this stuff is. It might be we reach a certain point where we're so unmanageable and so chaotic that something comes down and gives us a guideline. I mean, this is what Moses essentially experienced, supposedly, right? When he came back with his 10 commandments. This is supposedly what, these people that have had these religious visions, there's a way to follow, and there's a greater power that's above everything, that controls this whole thing and keeps it all together.
This shit matters.
Yeah.
That
it does matter.
Yeah, like everything we do matters. I think if atheists, I think, can find their own religion. It might be religion of science or religion of climate change or whatever it might be. But to not believe in a higher power means that really nothing I do matters, ultimately. I live, I die, that's it. I have a hard time with that because I believe there's a seen world and an unseen world. And there's forces of good and forces of evil. And that there's a purpose for all this. And there's, there's a lot of reasons why we're doing this. There's a lot of opportunities to do this. If there is the Christianity part and Jesus wants to come back and save everything,
it'd be good right around now.
Yeah. I got to think that I think this is going to be a crazy year. I think something, especially if it gets down to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
it's a wild world we live.
Swing away, Meryl. Meryl. Swing away.
in the Bible, they they don't have the words to explain like what a spaceship is. It's like, no, it's like a chariot in the sky.
Ezekiel.
Yeah.
When you pull up the description that Ezekiel had of the wheel within a wheel, my God, it sounds like a UFO.
Yeah.
And what a lot of people, I would like to talk to Tucker Carlson about this, because Tucker Carlson has this belief too. He just talked to people about this, and he thinks it's always been here, and that it's a part of existence, and that this is a part of these biblical stories of angels and devils, and that's what they're really talking about. They're talking about these interdimensional beings. Yeah, it's likely that they've always been here, and it might be connected somehow or another to our minds. The mind, which produces psychedelic chemicals, might also be a gateway to other dimensions. Whatever you experience when you experience dimethyltryptamine, which we know is produced by the brain, which is the key component of ayahuasca, you experience entities. You experience exactly what they're talking about there.
Yeah.
So what is that? Do we just dismiss that as hallucination?
I think we legalize it and promote it and encourage people to do it.
And then the aliens come. And then we realize they've been here all along. I think they've probably been here all along. I think they're probably here right now. They're just not here. They're just not here,
Yeah.
but they're part of this.
Yeah, I agree.
We just have a very limited ability to see.
Do you think they're benevolent?
Probably not. No, I don't think so. I think progress requires a lot of chaos. I think human beings, in particular, innovative, creative creatures, have to have something to battle against to become their better selves. We find that in human beings. I think there's probably a universal rule as far as how progress gets perpetrated. It probably gets created through battle.
There's got to be some benevolent races, though, if there's multiple races of...
Perhaps benevolence is just like our desire for ultimate peace. We have this like ridiculous idea that, like you can have good with no evil. And there's no real evidence for that.
No, I agree.
There's no real evidence as far as human society.
Eyes Wide Shut's pretty
Oh
pretty
my
crazy
God,
movie.
that is pretty crazy. Because back when Eyes Wide Shut first came out, everybody's like, well, that's not real. And then you hear about Epstein's Island, you're like, maybe it was. Maybe there are parties like
Well,
that.
there's a conspiracy that he...
Still do it. Why are you still out here?
Well, it goes back to the destiny thing. I mean, I made a bargain with it, a long time ago, and I'm holding up my end
What was your bargain?
to get where I am now.
Should I ask who you made the bargain with?
with the chief commander.
On this earth?
And this earth, and then in a world we can't see.
You ever look at music that you've written and look back at it and say, whoa, that surprised me?
I used to. I don't do that anymore. I don't know how I got to write those songs.
What do you mean you don't know how?
Well, those early songs were like almost magically written. Darkness at the break of noon, shadows even the silver spoon, a handmade blade, a child's balloon.
Eclipses both the sun and moon. To understand, you knew too soon. There's no sense in trying.
This Dylan classic, It's All Right, Ma, was written in 1964.
Mouthpiece, the hollow horn, plays wasted words, proves to warn that he not busy being born, is busy dying.
Well, try to sit down and write something like that. There's a magic to that, and it's not Siegfried and Roy kind of magic. It's a different kind of a penetrating magic. And I did it. I did it at one time.
You don't think you can do it today?
Mm-mm.
Does that disappoint you?
Well, you can't do something forever, and I did it once, and I can do other things now, but...
Yeah, and still, there's no effort whatsoever to try to get to the bottom of it, find out who the people were and why they were there, and there's no like real hardcore congressional investigation of what was being done, how were they being influenced, what was it about.
Why do you think that is?
Some fucking powerful people on that list, Jack. If there was an Epstein's Island, which there was, and if
There could be other ones.
Dude, for sure. Why wouldn't there be?
He didn't kill himself either.
He definitely didn't. No, I don't think he did.
Did you ever see that?
Sure, yeah, I love magic.
Because, like, I've read from a number of different sources that that's one of the main themes of your new album. But we're not talking like David Copperfield magic here, are we?
No, I mean, I like that kind too.
Sure.
But I'm talking more the magic that we experience in life, whether it's love or a drunken evening,
Yep.
dancing till the sun rises.
Making out with the ghost.
Do you think some people are more kind of prone to things like that happening to them than others?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I am prone to that because
Yeah.
I'm very open to the supernatural. I've experienced multiple ghosts in my life, or supernatural energies, whatever you want to call them. So it's just like the symbolism and the occult. It's kind of always in the peripheral. I am definitely drawn to the occult.
You know, a lot of my book is about my wanting to sing. Ever since I was a little girl, my family lied to me and told me that I was better than Shirley Temple, and I believed them.
See, you're not helping a kid when you do that.
No, and I totally believed them and everything. And then when I was 6, all of a sudden, you know, I was a has-been, and they started to like tell my younger cousin that she was.
She was the real singer?
Yeah, and it like really upset me. So I like summoned Satan, and I write about how I made it.
Where do you summon Satan in the book?
It's in the chapter called "Eat, Pray, Love, Conjure Satan." And when I was 12 years old, I signed a deal with Satan in my room, and I was to...
CBS doesn't condone this.
Wait a minute. Because I wanted to get famous no matter what, and, you know, then I forgot that I had this deal with Satan and everything, and then I got really famous. And then one day I, like, had this tragic singing accident at
yes, I remember that, yeah.
And I realized...
It's interesting to see how much has changed, you know, in that over the last, I don't know, 15 years, just how people can talk about it now without being called crazy.
Yeah.
There's some disclosure.
Mm-hmm. And the darkest theory is one that Lazar talked about. He said something that they talked to him about when he was working on these back-engineered crafts is that what they use us as is vessels that we are souls. We hold souls, and that this is essentially a farm. And this is how they develop souls through us. And that what our soul is, I mean, if you had to imagine, what our soul is some force, something that they farm here with us. When we die, it transcends and becomes whatever they are in whatever space they exist in.
That's what Bob said?
He's talking about it, that this is one of the crazier stories that has to do with religion that's attached to the UFO phenomenon. And Diana
Tucker's
Basalka
talked about the demonic part of it. Yeah. What did Diana say?
Well, this is what some of these people think, is that these things have always been here and they are a part of our history. And that this idea that they're coming here on these metal crafts from another planet is not necessarily the whole picture.
But don't you think there has to be some sort of field of value that can orient people into like, hey, let's do things a little bit better because these things actually matter. There is right and wrong. There is morality. Yeah. There is certain
Well, unfortunately, the problem with living in a secular society and living in a society that has a lot of people that are atheists, that have no belief system at all, is you find a belief system, and that's a lot of these people that call themselves atheists, or they've subscribed to the religion of woke. You know, their God is equity and inclusiveness. Their God is this ideology that they think that you have to subscribe to, and that's why it's spooky. But I think as time rolls on, people are going to understand the need to have some sort of divine structure to things, some sort of belief in the sanctity of love and of truth. And a lot of that comes from religion. A lot of people's moral compass and the guidelines that they've used to follow to live a just and righteous life has come from religion.
dance to your twisted romance. The world spun, dizzied up, left me in a baffled trance. Singing your song for too long, been tuning that radio wrong. The new melody is static free, and now it's a light to my feet. Dear Babylon, you told me I could fly, then left me emptier than the high at the end of the line. Dear Babylon, I'm leaving you behind as I reunite with the love of my life. It was a good time, I can never lie, but I'm done with the high and dry. It was the wrong race in the wrong time, when winning was already mine. I'm throwing in the towel, you were just on the prowl, but I got a lover waiting on me. I'm done with Rome, I'm headed home. Adios, goodbye. I've cast my pearls to filthy swine. I've tasted the sweetest wine. This muddied skin is coming clean. This stained white dress again pristine. It was a good time, I could never lie, but I'm done with the high and dry. It was a wrong race in the wrong time, when winning was so